Today in Jesus' journey to the cross and resurrection, it's Thursday. Jesus sent Peter and John ahead to the upper room in Jerusalem to prepare for the Passover feast. That evening, after sunset, Jesus washed the feet of his disciples and ate the Passover meal with them. As Jesus humbly washed his disciples' feet, he demonstrated by example how believers should love one another. A new commandment, John records, as Jesus said, "A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another. As I have loved you, that you also love one another." Who can you demonstrate love to today? Jesus shared the feast of Passover with his disciples, and Luke records, when the hour came, Jesus and his apostles reclined at the table, and he said to them, watch this, "I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer." The King James Version states with desire. This word is a word of passion, longing, craving, yearning anxiously. The description doesn't seem to connect to suffering. The eagerness of Jesus was one who was eager to accomplish what God the Father had sent him to do. He was excited about his obedience even while knowing the suffering that was ahead. When we run from suffering that may come from obedience, we miss the jubilation of conquering our death, hell, or the grave. Suffering and Christianity, as the Bible instructs, are synonymous. You will never be more than a conqueror until you have a mountain to conquer. Purpose rises in pain. Strength is experienced in weakness. You'll never know healing until you have been sick. You'll never know deliverance until you've been between a rock and a hard place. As the Lamb of God, Jesus would fulfill the meaning of Passover by giving his body to be broken, his blood to be shed and sacrificed, freeing us from sin and death. Remember, death cannot impact what does not die. Jesus and the disciples left the upper room that night and they went to the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus prayed in agony to God the Father. Luke's gospel says his sweat became like great drops of blood falling to the ground. We can see why this is called Passion Week. Late that evening in Gethsemane, Jesus was betrayed with a kiss by Judas Iscariot and arrested by the Sanhedrin. He was taken to the home of Caiaphas, the high priest, where the whole council had gathered, and they began making their case against Jesus. When his betrayer came, Jesus said, "Friend, why have you come?" Wow, what an example for us today. Calling your betrayer your friend. What kind of message does that speak to you as we enter into the eager desire, the agony, and betrayal that Jesus felt?